Are you absolutely desperate for the Toronto Maple Leafs to finally break through and hoist the Stanley Cup? Or are you simply exhausted by the endless trade rumors and the constant what-if surrounding this team? Well, get ready, because today we're diving headfirst into a whirlwind of speculation that could either ignite a championship run or send the Leafs nation into another spiral of despair. We're talking about potential seismic shift on the blue line, a move that could bring a Norris Trophy winner to Toronto, and a savvy forward signing that might just unlock the secondary scoring this team so desperately needs. This isn't just about roster moves. It's about the very soul of the Maple Leafs, their all-in mentality, and whether they can finally assemble the pieces to conquer their demons. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Just hearing that name conjures up a mix of fervent hope and perennial frustration for fans across the hockey world. This offseason, the chatter around the team has been, as usual, relentless. But two specific storylines have emerged that could profoundly shape the Leafs' immediate future. The potential acquisition of a superstar defenseman, Erik Karlsson, and the strategic signing of a versatile forward, Jack Roslovic. Both moves, if they materialize, speak volumes about Toronto's win-now mentality and their relentless pursuit of the elusive Stanley Cup. Let's kick things off with the Blue Line bombshell. It's no secret that Pittsburgh Penguins star defenseman Erik Karlsson has been the subject of continuous trade talks this offseason. The buzz around him is constant, and it will likely remain so until he's either traded or his contract expires in 2027. On Wednesday, July 9th, RG Media's James Murphy reported that the Toronto Maple Leafs are among the teams actively inquiring about Karlsson's availability. This isn't just a casual check-in. It signals a serious intent from the Leafs to bolster their defensive core with elite offensive talent. It's also worth noting that the Dallas Stars and Detroit Red Wings have reportedly checked in, indicating a competitive market for Carlson's services. Interestingly, the Leafs have also contacted the New Jersey Devils about Dougie Hamilton, further underscoring their desire for an offensive-minded blue liner. So, does a move for Erik Karlsson make sense for the Maple Leafs? From a pure hockey standpoint, absolutely. The Leafs have been desperately lacking offensive production from their defense. While Erik Karlsson has faced a torrent of criticism from both Penguins fans and the broader NHL community, he remains an elite, offensive-minded defenseman. His ability to quarterback a power play, create offense from the back end, and drive play is undeniable. He's a two-time Norris Trophy winner for a reason. Furthermore, the Maple Leafs are in a precarious yet exciting position where they are essentially forced to go all in for a title in the next 2 or 3 seasons. Austin Matthews, their superstar center, is due for a massive extension in 2028, and the team's prospect pool is alarmingly thin, ranked 28 by The Athletic. Their future is now. Acquiring a player of Carlson's caliber, even with his contract and age, makes perfect sense for a team that is going for broke. They need to maximize their current window with their core players, and Carlson could be the piece that unlocks another level of offensive firepower. Now, let's flip the script. Does trading Erik Karlsson make sense for the Pittsburgh Penguins? In short, yes. However, the Penguins should not, under any circumstances, trade him for nothing just to shed his substantial salary. The challenge lies in the Maple Leafs' limited cap space, with just over $5 million available. This means the Penguins would have to retain a significant portion of Carlson's salary, or the Leafs would need to include a player the Penguins are willing to take on, even if they don't want them. The idea of the Leafs trading Oliver Ekman-Larsson and his $3.5 million cap hit, with the Penguins retaining $3 million of Carlson's salary to make it work, has been floated. However, this is not an appealing deal for Pittsburgh. Ekman-Larsson has 3 more years left on his contract, making him difficult to move. The Penguins need assets, not another long-term contract they don't want. Adding to complexity, the Maple Leafs are severely lacking in draft capital. They don't have a first-round pick until 2028, and they're missing a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. Their prospect pool, as mentioned, is weak, with Easton Cowan being the lone standout. This makes constructing a mutually beneficial trade incredibly challenging. Despite these hurdles, a hypothetical trade package has been suggested that might tempt Penguins GM Kyle Dubas, a man who knows the Leafs organization intimately from his time there. Hypothetical trade. Pittsburgh Penguins receive F. Easton Cowan 2028 first-round pick D. Oliver Ekman-Larsson Toronto Maple Leafs receive. D. Erik Karlsson, 50% retained, 2026 second-round pick in this scenario. The Penguins would secure a valuable future first-round pick and a highly touted prospect in Easton Cowan, while also taking on Ekman-Larsson's contract. The Leafs, on the other hand, would successfully dump Ekman-Larsson's salary and acquire Carlson at a much more palatable cap hit of under $5 million. The inclusion of a 2026 second-round pick would give the Leafs some draft capital to use for future trades, and the Penguins, who have 3 2026 second-rounders, could afford to part with one. This deal, while complex, offers a pathway for both teams to address their needs, with the Leafs getting their offensive defensemen and the Penguins kickstarting their rebuild with future assets. Now, let's shift gears to another crucial piece of the Leafs puzzle: secondary scoring. The Maple Leafs have had a relatively quiet offseason in terms of new additions, but they could be on the verge of signing an impact forward. Toronto has been strongly linked to former Carolina Hurricanes forward Jack Roslovic, a player who could be a valuable middle six option. NHL insider James Myrtle of The Athletic believe the ball is firmly in Toronto's court if they intend to sign Roslovic. One player the Leafs have been connected to the past few days is Jack Roslovic, another offense-focused winger who can play a little center. Myrtle wrote, he scored 22 goals for Carolina last year, but also fell out of favor as the season wore on, in part due to his defensive lapses and misplays with the puck, leading to games as a healthy scratch in playoffs. This gives us a clear picture of Roslovic, a talented offensive player with some defensive warts. Myrtle believes the signing is roughly 50-50 right now, but crucially, it sounds like the ball is in the Leafs' court here, in that he's interested in the opportunity. And I don't think it would cost a lot in terms of dollars or term. Roslovic is projected to sign a deal in the neighborhood of $2.6 to $2.9 million, a highly affordable price for a player who can contribute secondary scoring. Last season, he recorded 22 goals and 17 assists for 39 points in 81 games. In his NHL career, he skated in 526 games, accumulating 102 goals and 158 assists for 260 points. He's a proven scorer who can play both wing and center, adding valuable versatility to the Leafs lineup. If Toronto does end up signing Roslovic, Myrtle envisions him fitting in perfectly on the third line. This move, according to the insider, could also have a ripple effect, potentially making some current Maple Leafs players expendable. I could see it making sense as another option to give them offense down the lineup. Instead of the Steven Lawrence, David Kampke, Jarnkrok, Michael Pezzetta no-goal crew, Myrtle wrote, highlighting the Leafs' struggles with bottom six scoring. The real strategic genius of a Roslovic signing, Myrtle suggests, lies in its potential to free up cap space. Where it could especially make sense is if GM Brad Treliving can subtract someone such as Camp's $2.4 million cap hit and earmark a big chunk of that for Roslovic. This would be a shrewd move, as it would allow the Leafs to upgrade their offensive output on the third line without significantly impacting their overall cap flexibility. That would still leave them with plenty of cap wiggle room to add a bigger difference maker to play with Matthews at some point and still inject a few more goals and playmaking on the third or fourth line. Myrtle added, if you can at some point put Maxelli and someone like Roslovic on the third line, for example, you can see a way to get far more scoring from their top nine and attempt to replace some of Marner's impact down the lineup. While Roslovic wouldn't be a top-line forward like the recently departed Mitch Marner, he would provide much-needed secondary scoring, an area where the Maple Leafs have consistently struggled. Toronto's offseason strategy has clearly been about adding more depth, as evidenced by their trades for Matthias Maxelli and Nick Roy. Crucially, the Maple Leafs still have cap space, with just over $4.9 million available, and general manager Brad Treliving has publicly stated his willingness to spend it. We would have liked to use that earlier today, but if there's not the right fit to use it on, we will take the flexibility. Treliving said on July 1st, this flexibility is key, allowing him to pursue players like Carlson and Roslovic, who could be the missing pieces in their championship puzzle. The Leafs are at a crossroads. Their core is aging, their prospect pool is shallow, and the window for a Stanley Cup is narrowing. Moves like acquiring Erik Karlsson and signing Jack Roslovic are not just about adding talent. They are about making a definitive statement. The Toronto Maple Leafs are all in. The question remains, will these bold moves be enough to finally bring the Cup home? What are your thoughts on these potential blockbuster moves for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Do you think Erik Karlsson is the answer? And would Jack Roslovic be a good fit? Let us know your opinions in the comments below. If you're as hyped as we are about the Leafs offseason, hit that like button and share this video with every single member of the Leafs Nation. Let's get this conversation buzzing.